Good morning, everyone. Today, I just want to take a few minutes out and share a very important topic that I've seen so much in my practice. I have a lot of babies in my practice because stressed out women have a hard time being pregnant, and I can help them correct that. So let's talk a little bit about the physiology and how this can happen. We have the hypothalamus and the pituitary and the adrenals, which I call the HP axis. Now, the adrenal glands are our stress glands. So they produce cortisol, and they don't produce it all day. It pulses 4 times through the day, but not really valid for this conversation. So under stress, it pulses cortisol to support you in situations as inflammation. And, cortisol does a lot of things, and we'll talk more about what it does. But the main 3 things it does is stress, and it makes estradiol when you're in menopause, and it balances your blood sugar. So why do women have a hard time getting pregnant when they're under a lot of stress? And stress can be chemical, emotional, or physical. You could have mold in your house, and that's chemical enough to cause chronic stress, and the cortisol output will just be putting it out all day, needing more and more cortisol. It can be emotional, and it can be emotional trauma from youth. So I find all these things out to try to correct this. So here we have it. On day 1, you start bleeding. And this is estrogen rising like it should. This is a normal cycle. You have FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, that is stimulated by the hypothalamus-pituitary, and LH, same thing. So it tells FSH how far to bring this estrogen up. That's why you can tell, like, if FSH is really high on someone and the estrogen's not rising, that you want to look at the ovaries. Probably not for this conversation either. So here you go. You're bleeding, you're rising, it's coming up, it's falling down day 14. Now we get the little follicle here. And what's going to happen now is the progesterone has to carry that follicle throughout this whole phase and have enough progesterone to help you to make the baby. Anyway, carry that through that phase. So what ends up happening is the adrenal glands under a lot of stress will keep needing more cortisol. So the only hormone that can be converted to cortisol is progesterone, the big P. Let's give it that. Yay, I'm not a good drawer. So as I'm under more and more stress, my progesterone is being taken and lowered, taken and lowered, taken and lowered. So how do you think I'm going to be able to take this follicle, this little egg here, and carry it through here to help facilitate making our little baby? Now, this is what I'm finding so much lately, is the progesterone is so low because the cortisol output is too much. So then I'll do an adrenal stress index test to find out what's going on with the cortisol. When I can help regulate the cortisol, and I do that through many things. I do a lot of liquid herbs, and I help I'm very specific in how we would take care of this issue. Then once we can bring the progesterone back up and we get rid of the stressor, then no problem. You end up having 42 babies that we've had in the office from this issue. So if you're having issues with your cycle, heavy bleeding, clotting, cramping, the answer is not birth control. That just prolongs the problem. It cuts off the hypothalamus and the pituitary's ability to actually make FSH and LH do its job. Avoiding an issue is not the solution. Covering up the problem with a pill is not going to get to the problem. So it's symptom chasing. So if you are having problems getting pregnant and you need someone to look at the reasons why, I specialize in PCOS. You have to know all about hormones in order to help someone with hormone issues. And it doesn't usually start with hormone issues. It usually starts somewhere else. Stress can be you have a leaky gut, and maybe you have a parasite now, and it's stressing out your system all the time. So it's knowing how to find the problem and get to the cause and correct it, which I know how to do very well. Just wanted to educate you a little bit on stressed out women getting pregnant. If you have any questions about this, you can contact me at Dr. Dady at drdady.com, or you can go to my website, drdady.com. I make it really simple for you. Have a wonderful day, and I hope this really helps.